back to my YouTube. I know I've been off for like God knows how long, like over a month. I don't really have a genuine explanation for that. I would keep saying the same thing, like sometimes you're not in that mental or emotional state to just pick up your phone or your camera to make a video or vlog and all that. But yeah, I'm here now, like I'll keep trying to be consistent. Okay. Anyways, my name is Cynthia Philip. This is your first time here. You're welcome. If you're returning, thank you for always stopping by and clicking on this video. Yeah, so enjoy. So guys, as you can see from the title of this video, I'll be talking about some things that you need to know before you consider moving to the Philippines, whether as a tourist or a student or for work and all that. So for those of you who know or don't know, I'm currently in Nigeria and I studied in the Philippines, BSc nursing. I studied in the Philippines and I graduated last year, November. So yeah, I'm in Nigeria currently. With all of this happening, I'm here, surviving. Okay, so let's dive right into the video. If you catch me looking away from the camera, I just jotted some things down so I don't forget. First, let's talk about job opportunities. As a student, before going to the Philippines here, like, not like, I won't say I knew about it, but more like, let me just say I was torn in between. Like, I never knew, like, as a student in the Philippines, you cannot work. Of course, if I knew that and how important that is or that was, I don't think I would have been there for like 5 good years. Come on, talking about my course nursing, like it's demanding emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. So you can imagine being a student in such a country and you don't have a job. Like sometimes here, when my friends are, I'm talking to my friends, they're like, oh, I'm doing all right, I'm chilling, I'm this, I'm that. And when I tell them, like, do you know I'm really not working here? And they're surprised. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. So when you think about going to such a country, these are the things like you need to consider. Like when I went there and I met people, right? They felt so like disappointed because of how they came there and they realized a lot of things. Before I went to the Philippines, like I was to show you how bored and tired like I was at home, because I was at home for almost 2 years before I got admission into college. So all that I used all those times to like get to know certain things about this country and all that. And aside working as a student, it's very difficult, like very, very difficult to get a job. It sounds almost impossible to get a job, except like not even as a student. Probably you would get a, should I say, call center job, or I really don't know. Even as a graduate, I still cannot work as a nurse there because one, I couldn't take the licensure exam. That's something I never knew. Of course, if I knew all these things, I wouldn't be there. So it was just so difficult. When you're thinking of going to somewhere like that, a third world country, Philippines, just try to know more, research more about the job opportunities and whatever comes with it. And if you're going to the Philippines as a tourist, like most people would ask, is it safe for tourists? I would say yes. Like generally, I would say yes. Of course, every country has every part of that country which isn't safe for tourists, and parts of that country which is safe for tourists. But overall, generally, I would say yes, because the Philippines, like, they are very, very hospitable. They are very, very accommodating. they are warm, they are homely. Like, I feel like they welcome foreigners well. Although, like, the first time I went to the Philippines here, like, every single day that passed by, I got upset because whenever I breathe in and out, they would look at me like they fucking stare so much. Even when they are aware that you're looking at them, oh, this person is staring at me, why is he or she staring at me? Like, they keep looking, and come on, well, normal, I guess, typical of a Filipino. So if you're going to the Philippines and you notice all those things, don't panic, don't be scared. It's just part of them, I mean. And transportation, transportation is like, it's not a problem in the Philippines because they have different means of transportation. They have a taxi, they have a train, they have buses, they have bikes, they have tricycle, they have jeepney. I mean, you just name it. So it's really not a problem. And yeah, the most expensive of all is definitely a taxi. So I just feel like it's not going to be a problem. So transportation won't be a problem if you're going to the Philippines. And then another thing is cost of living. I feel like that's word alone is subjective. It just depends. Like, or it depends on where you're coming from, right? Of course, like 1 peso right now is equivalent to 8 or almost 9 naira. When I tell people that here, they'll be like, that's so cheap. Okay, that's so cheap, but it depends. You wouldn't know until you're there. So someone who is in, let's say, I don't know how to put this here. Okay, when I was in the Philippines, when I talk to my friends who are in the US or the UK, and they ask me, oh, how cheap are things there? What's the cost of living, the exchange rates and all? And I tell them, they'll be like, that's so cheap. Maybe to me, that's not so cheap. That's expensive. Because when you have 1,000 pesos, which is almost 9,000 here, before I walk 100 kilometers, I've blown that money away because you don't know. You just ask yourself, like, what did I really do with this money? 10,000 pesos, which is I don't even know how much is 10,000 pesos. I don't know if it's up to 100k. Of course not. I can't remember the exact amount right now. I can't do that math in my head, but I mean, that's just to show you. Like I said, that statement alone is subjective. Okay, what's expensive for me might not be expensive to you, but yeah, because I've been to other Asian countries like Japan and Thailand, and it's like twice as expensive as the Philippines, to be honest. So maybe I would say it's just the cost of living is just on the average. It's not so expensive, it's not so cheap. If I want to go to the Philippines now for vacation, right, maybe for 2 weeks, and I really, really want to explore, I want to go to the island, maybe 1 or 2, maybe apart from my accommodation, maybe I could be staying with a friend, my feeding, maybe I could live on, should I say 50,000 pesos, I guess. But I know some people who would blow that in less than a week. So I can't really calculate a figure in my head. Maybe I will do that and put the figures over here. So yes, and talking about the weather, you need to prepare. If you're the kind of person, the Philippine weather is more of, should I say, tropical or humid. Like it's hot all year round. It only gets a little bit calm, or should I say cool, from December to February, and it's not even compared to the Hamatan season in Nigeria. The only city in the Philippines that gets really really cold, as much as I know, is Baguio. Yeah, it's more like, I think it's more cold than the Hamatan season here in Nigeria. So if you're the kind of person that cannot deal with the hot weather, I'd advise you to go and explore the Philippines from December to February, or probably stay in Baguio and come anytime of the year you want. Because even when it's raining, it gets hot here. People say Nigeria is hotter than the Philippines, but I still don't agree with that, because Philippines kind of heat is dry heat. That kind of heat where you can't even feel any form of air. At least when it's hot here, it can be windy, like you can breathe fresh air. But in the Philippines, no, you don't get that kind of weather there. Like it's fucking dry, it's fucking hot all year round. Even when it's raining, you don't want to be under that weather, under that rain, because it's so disgusting. Like, you have no idea. If, let's say at night in Nigeria, I can manage to sleep. When there's no light here, you can manage to sleep without the fan or AC and all that. But in the Philippines, you dare not. Like, you can't even sleep if you try to. You cannot. That's what I mean. So the weather there is just, it's just something else. It's just something else. And the Philippines has like a lot of natural disasters. Like, let me not make that sound so bad. What's the word? I can't even remember. It gets flooded when it rains. Not every time though, but certain parts of the country like gets really really flooded when it rains, because I think they have a very very bad drainage system. Yeah, that's part of it. So if you're staying in places where it tends, because there are particular places that constantly get flooded, like some parts of Quezon City, some parts of Valenzuela where I stayed, all of these places are still under Manila. So like you can get really really bad. Sometimes people even die when it gets flooded. Houses collapse when it gets flooded. But thank God I've never experienced any of that. Sometimes if it gets that bad, we don't go to school for weeks because it's constantly raining. So that's show you how bad the weather can get. So yeah. Secondly, foreigners cannot, I don't know about any other country, but foreigners cannot own properties without a Filipino national, except you're married to a Filipino. I think, I'm not 100% sure that you can own properties, but if you, no matter the amount of money you have, you cannot possibly own a property in the Philippines. And getting married to a Filipino does not even guarantee citizenship or you even being born there. It doesn't. That's one of the things again. Another thing again, if you're thinking of coming to the Philippines as a tourist, for vacation and all that, you have made the best decision, because the Philippines has almost or more than 17,000 islands. You wouldn't run out of choices. You would have the best fun of your life. There's El Nido, there's Palawan, still the same, there's Sergao or Shagao, how do you pronounce it? There's, so much of it I can't even remember. You can visit Manila. Of course, there are a lot of foreigners there because it's the capital. When they come there, like, I mean, they're always there. Makati, Baguio, BGC in Manila. I mean, you just can't have enough fun. Come on. I spent 5 years there, but I still feel like I never got to explore the Philippines as much as I wanted to, because if it's not school, it's money. If it's not money, it's school. I mean, like, I would love to go back there someday. I keep telling my friends, I keep telling people, like, I miss there. But going back for school, like, nah, because it won't favor me the way I want to. And at this point, I'd rather, like, explore other places, right? Yeah, I'd rather explore other places. So if you're going there as a foreign, and I mean as a tourist, trust me, you're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. I mean, there are just a lot of things to do in the Philippines. There's more fun in the Philippines, okay? And one thing again, if you're the kind of person who has a sensitive stomach, like, maybe the food won't really favor you, because I've been there for 5 years and there are still certain foods that I still cannot eat. Like, the main food I eat in the Philippines, like the traditional meal, are just curry, which is, it comes in beef and chicken. It's made with peanut butter. I eat that. I eat adobo. I eat chicken curry, chicken africada. I don't know if I got that right. It's like amazing foods. But any other thing, I don't have a strong tummy for it. So if you're the kind of person, although food is really cheap in the Philippines, I mean, local foods, yeah, street foods, it's quite cheap. But if you're the kind of person that has a sensitive stomach for all those things, you end up spending more to eat, like, better meals. You get what I mean? I mean, like, in restaurants, places like McDonald's, Jollibee, just to name it. So, but there are a lot of foods in the Philippines. Trust me, you won't run out of choices. You won't. I mean, yeah, I mean, going to the Philippines, you don't have to worry about a lot of things. Like, there's constant, like, it's a third world country, but there's constant electricity, constant water. Like, you don't have to worry about maybe taking, not taking cash or your ATM or whatsoever, because before you even breathe in and out, there's an ATM beside you, like, all over. Not like here that, I mean, you get what I mean. But there are a lot of ATMs, machines around. I mean, so accessible for you to do whatever you want to at any time. And to me, it's like I said earlier, like, you can't say a place is 100% safe, but probably safe to an extent. Sometimes I go out at 4 a.m. just to use the ATM. I go out at 4 a.m. just to buy airtime. I go out at 4 a.m. just to get something. I mean, come on. But here in Nigeria, I can't possibly do that. Sometimes, even when it's 7 p.m., I don't even like walking through my streets. Okay, so that's how safe it can be, or it gets. I've never had, like, a bad experience, like I was attacked or something. Like, I would say that the Philippines is safe. Yeah, it's safe for tourists. They're not, I would say they're not racism. Although I've experienced little of it, but it wasn't that terrible. I mean, like, other places. Of course, when you go to most countries, there's certain level of racism. Okay, it can get bad, it can get so bad, worse a little bit. You get what I mean? So that's basically it. Like, the Philippines has its good and its bad side. Even when you're going out, like, you need to even be careful of your phones, your valuables, because there are a lot of pickpockets, like, you wouldn't even know. I've experienced that once. even though I wasn't harmed, but up till now I still get paranoid, like, of the things I'm holding when I am going out, even back in school and even when I'm here. Like, because of that experience, like, I'm so paranoid, like, I'm always thinking of those things. So I feel like it's so hard for someone to just, it would be hard for someone to just want to snatch things from me. Probably I would be aware already, or there would be a struggle before you can get something out of me. So that's just, I mean, the Philippines is an amazing place. It is. Well, that's just it for now. Okay, I don't want to give so much, not like I don't want to give so much details, but I don't want to make this video so long. So I'll probably make a part 2 of this video, I guess. I'm not so sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you had fun. Please, if there's anything you want to see or you want me to talk about, the comment section is for you. Please, I'm open to new ideas. I'm open to suggestions. Just let me know. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next video.